Hi, there's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to show you. I've got a deck of cards here, and you would have the spectator give this a shuffle. Shuffle until they're happy. And what you want to do is you take the cards back, spread them out, and you have them make some freely thought of choices, free selections. Say, go ahead, think of any card, name any card that comes to mind. They might say something like the 5 of diamonds. Okay, I don't know. And you say, well, we do have a 5 of diamonds in here. We have a 5 right here. 5 of diamonds. And then you have them name any other card, but a different value and a different color. Different value, something that's very different from that. So they might say something like the 3 of clubs. Okay, so we have the 3 of clubs right here. So free selection, free choice. That was all on them. We're going to try something interesting. Okay, what I want to do is I want to have you make a few more selections, okay? Just a few more selections, and the way we'll do this will be kind of unusual. I'm going to spread the cards out like this, and I want you to just scan your hand over the spread and lay it down whenever it feels right. Just scan your hand over, lay down whenever it feels right. Say they go right here. Say, great, wherever your finger ends, right there, we're just going to take these cards and we're gonna slide these away. Okay, we'll get rid of those. So that leaves us here in this situation. We've got these remaining cards. I want to do this again. We might even do this with somebody else. Okay, so if there's somebody else sitting at the table, you continue with them. I want you to do the same. I'm just going to spread the cards this way. And I want you to just scan your hand over. Whenever it feels right, just go ahead and drop it. Let's say they go right here. Say, great. We'll take these cards away as well. And this is the situation we're in. We just have a few cards left. Let's try this again. We're going to spread these out. In fact, just go ahead and point anywhere, somewhere in the middle here. Just point to a spot. Let's say they go right here. We'll take that and we'll slide those away. And that leaves us now with just these 3 cards remaining. Only 3 cards left. And we'll just mix these up. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to slide away any 2 cards, any 2 cards at all. Let's say they slide away these 2 right there. Say, perfect. Go ahead and slide one back. Say they slide that one back. Excellent. That leaves just this card right here. Just this one. One card that you selected. And these are cards that you thought of off the top of your head. Everything about this was done by you. You shuffled the deck. You thought of these cards. You named them outright. You saw that everything was fair. It's not even my deck of cards. Okay? You came down to this selection. You don't know what it is. Okay? It's a complete mystery. But I'll point you to this. You picked the 5 of diamonds and the 3 of clubs. What if this was a different identity entirely? What if it was the 5 of clubs? Completely freely thought of value and suit. Go ahead and take a look. 5 of clubs. So this is along the lines of this discussion we've been having about freely thought of card magic, freely thinking selections, and also free agency of choice. And this has both in it. So the spectator, and also it is a shuffled deck in use, which is another aspect of some of this little series that we're doing, and a project we'll see where it goes, if I compile all of this into a product or not. But free agency in selection and revelation with something that is not really in the performer's control. It's not a stacked deck kind of thing. We're trying to get stacked deck type magic out of a shuffled deck. And this is an avenue by which you can go. Now, part of this, it relates to a trick that I showed in the summer. We called it 2 for the show, which was kind of like an inverted Gemini twin sort of idea, where the spectator shuffles the deck, they make a couple of selections, and based on those selections, you now have 2 other identities that you can reveal via spectator cuts the card and you dead cut to a card. So these are the possibilities, right, with that original trick. This is a variation on that same idea. They freely name 2 cards, and in this case, what we're doing is they name one, say the 9 of hearts, and now I'm going to look for the black 9s. So as I take that out, I scan through, I see the 9 of clubs right here, and I see the 9 of spades down here. And I say, name a completely different value in a completely different color. And as soon as they say what the suit is on the other one, let's say they say the Jack of spades, I know I'm going to go for the 9 of spades down here. Okay, so I find the Jack of spades, which gives me plenty of time to scout out my 9 of spades, and then I do a spread shift in the open. In the open, I just pick up the cards, and as I arrive at the 9 of spades, I can do this very sloppily. I just put my thumbnail down on that card. I brush off the remaining cards. My hand's covering the card. They don't even see values here, and they have no idea where this is going. This is operating on the fact that they do not have a clue where this trick is headed. They just know that they shuffled the cards and they made freely named selections, right? Now I have shifted my 9 of spades to the top. I pick up, or to the bottom. I pick up the cards, and then I can do a shuffle if I want to, or I can just go into it. I can face up, visual control, run the 9 of spades off, and then run everything on top of that. And now I know the 9 of spades is at the top of the spread. So what I do is I set the cards down, and then depending on where it's at, if it's on the top or the bottom, I just want to make sure I spread such that that card is close to me and that the opposite side of the spread is close to the spectator. I have the spectator scan their hands somewhere along, and I want it to be way at the top so that they can't go all the way here. If they do go all the way here, what I'll do is I'll just take the top 4 cards and I'll go directly to normal equivoque. Very clean. There's no sense in belaboring the idea. But let's say they don't do that. They go somewhere in the middle. They drop down. I'm going to eliminate everything away from this card. We eliminate that. We set those aside. I pick up the spread. I know my 9 of spades is at the top. I'm going to run that card off. Again, making sure they don't see it. Run that card off, shuffle off fairly on top. And now I'm going to spread again, maybe to somebody else. But now I know my 9 of spades is at the bottom. They scan over again. If they stop somewhere short of that, I get rid of the cards. I might even give them some direction. If I have a smaller amount, I'll say just somewhere in the middle. They drop their hand, and then I take whatever's there and maybe 1 or 2 extra margin just to get myself down close. So you have to kind of control the outcome a bit. If they stop all the way at the end, then I go with those cards. I say, all right, let's focus on these 4 or 5. So to get rid of those cards, I know that my force card is at the bottom. I'll give you some sourcing on this in a minute. There's a reason why this came to my mind. I now can do the same thing. I can run this card face up. I can see it. They can't, but I can control. I run the 9 of spades off and then shuffle overhand. I know my 9 of spades is at the top. And then I can do this again. And I say, just point to maybe a card somewhere in the middle. They do that. They point to a spot. I eliminate all those cards. You can get down to 3 or 4 cards and you can do classic equivoque. And I know that my 9 of spades is over here. So I might pick this up and I might actually, I just botched that up. I got rid of it accidentally. Here we go. Wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I've got this card is over here. I want to spread it away from them. There we go. Pay attention. They point to a spot. I get rid of those cards, and now I know that my 9 of spades is here. Okay, so I do the classic equivoque at this point. I say slide away any 2. They slide away maybe these 2. I say push one back. I know this is the one I want. If they push it back, I go with that. I get rid of it. And then I do my revelation, as you saw in the presentation. So this is one idea. Now, you don't necessarily have to do freely thought of cards. There's a way that you can do this more like the Gemini Twins kind of presentation, where you have them shuffle, you take the cards back, and I note the second card from the face, which in this case is the Ace of Clubs. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my first ace, hopefully a red ace, and I'm going to drop that out on the table, and then I go for the next club, and then I'm going to set these black card clubs, so opposite color is what I'm going for. So red ace and then a club. In this case, I have an ace of hearts and a queen of clubs. And I say I'm going to set this into the box and just set that aside for later. Now what I'm doing is I'm just controlling the second card from the top or the bottom. And you could do the bottom card if you want to, but I give myself a little bit of a margin. Same kind of force, get myself down to it, controlling it with overhand shuffles, visibly face up, they can't see it, or from the top, thumbing cards. I get down to that, and then I take out my cards from the box. I can have them dump them out. And I say, now I made a prediction, but actually this is a composite. I commit to the ace of clubs before they do the revelation. So this isn't really a thought of kind of situation in terms of the card. I am making the prediction ahead of time. This is more on the free agency of choice. But another way to do that, a fun way to also handle this is sometimes card boxes have a card value printed on the back. Might be a 10 of hearts or something like that, or a king of diamonds. Those are very common ones that show up on card boxes, particularly for Bicycle or U.S. Playing Card Company boxes. You can, if you see that on a card box, it could be a borrowed deck, you could take a joker out, set it inside, and say, I'm going to make a prediction, or set both jokers inside and set that over there. Go through the whole thing, force that card, okay? And especially as I'm going through to take out jokers, I can just cut that card to the top or bottom. Go through the forcing, get down to the end and say, actually, I put a prediction in the box, right? And they can take them out and they can look and say it's a joke. Because I say, no, I'm sorry. I just put the jokers away. I actually put a prediction in the box. If you look on the box has printed here the 10 of hearts, and you can see revelation, your selection, 10 of hearts. That's just a really mind-blowing kind of a way to use a box revelation using this principle. So why did I bring this up? I recently did a little tribute to Max Maven. I've seen two people use this spread force principle that gets you down to an equivoque situation. One is Ricky Jay, and the other one is Max Maven. Those are the only two people I've ever seen use this in practice, or at least the first two or oldest kind of examples of this. Max Maven would do this on television. You know, it's strong in the right hands, this kind of elimination process. Ricky Jay also has a particular trick in which he does this. It's just really funny kind of situation where he has spectator on both sides. He spreads, they take some. He shuffles, he spreads, they take some. And he gets down to that force card in the end, down to a typical equivoque. It is actually referenced to both of them, I believe, in the Card College Light series. So you can find that reference in there. It's a moveless, slightless kind of force that I attribute to those two people. So hats off to Max Maven and that wonderful kind of force that is not very labor intensive, no sleights involved, and it gets us very close to those stacked deck magic, thought of card, free agency choice, impossible looking magic with the shuffle deck in use. So I give that to you. Good luck with that. Happy magicking.